Hi guys, welcome back to Cernys Kids. Today we are going a virtual road trip to Utah today.
Utah. All right, Jamin, you want to show them the map?
Go to our website, cernysjourneys.com to get our map.
Follow the link. It's on the homepage. You can also follow our blog and follow our journeys or go on your own. All right, guys, let's find Utah on the map.
Right here.
That's right. So Utah is the 45th state. Stay in the line, son. He is the 45th state to join the United States in 1896. The borders are Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico. Its capital is Salt Lake City. And it is actually known as the Beehive State. So that's kind of cool. And so Ute, did you know Ute is what Utah comes from? And Ute means people of the mountains. So that probably makes sense because Utah has a lot of mountains. But the coolest thing I wanted to tell you about is Utah actually has five national parks. It's kind of interesting, right? So there is Bryce Canyon, Arches National Park, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, and Zion National Park. And so they are known as the Mighty Five. And we actually are going to go to, remember where we went, guys? Zion National Park. So Zion National Park is in the southwest of Utah. And it's distinguished by its canyons. They're red and they're steep. Did you see any of that in the video you guys watched?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So the reason why we picked Zion is because it was actually Utah's first national park. So all of them have something pretty spectacular. So I would recommend checking them all out. But Zion just happens to be Utah's first. So that's why we picked that one to go to out of the other ones. So as already mentioned, it's known for its sandstone cliffs. And there was people who lived there over 10,000 years ago. So when you go to Zion, you can see some of the archaeological sites. You can go to Zion Lodge. You can go and do the Cable Mountain Draw. And you can also see like some traces of old highways and tunnels and stuff like that. So kind of cool. What did you guys see in the video? Anything cool that you saw that you wanted to talk about?
There was a lake.
There was a lake. Okay.
They did rock climbing.
Rock climbing?
And it also rained a lot.
It did. Okay, so I guess from the video they watched that it rained a lot. So the cool thing about is if you go onto nps.gov and you go to Zion National Park, they have, of course, links for photos and multimedia. So there's virtual hikes you can do. They did a bus tour of Zion. There you can go to Angelo's Landing. There's webcams. There's also a free app that you can download, which is kind of cool. They also have a human history museum that is at the entrance to Zion that you can actually tour virtually on the website too. So all this information will be provided down below in the description. So kind of cool. All right, so from Zion, let's go to the Sundance Film Festival.
What's that?
Let me tell you about it. So annually, they have a film festival. It's in Park City, Utah, and it's been going on since 1978, and it is the largest U.S. film festival. So that's kind of cool. And so it's organized by the Sunset Institute, and over 46,000 people attend it every year. So the cool thing about it is a lot of movies that you can't go and see in Hollywood or you can't see on like the big red carpet shows, like the Emmys. I don't even think the Emmys are. The Grammys and all that. I really have no idea what the shows are, but I do like the Sundance because it really does a lot of things for independent films. So some of the most popular films that you might know that have actually come from the Sundance Film Festival. Have you guys heard of Napoleon Dynamite?
No. What's that?
Oh, really? We've watched it.
What is it?
Oh my, looks like we have some homework to do with the kids this afternoon.
No.
Napoleon Dynamite is hilarious. So Napoleon Dynamite, another one is Hoop Dreams, that's about basketball. Little Miss Sunshine was a great movie. I think that came out in 2006, great movie. And one of my favorites, Garden State. So there's a lot of great movies that come from the Sundance Film Festival. If you go to Sundance Film Festival, you can look at some of the movies. You can probably Netflix and watch some of them too, which is kind of cool. Again, I highly recommend Garden State. The kids would actually love Napoleon Dynamite, and I'm sure most of you have seen that one anyways. And to be honest with you, I know my kids have too. But if not, we're going to rewatch it tonight because it's hilarious. All right, so the last stop on our virtual road trip to Utah is the Great Salt Lake. So everybody knows of Salt Lake City, which is the capital of Utah, but that comes from the Great Salt Lake. So the Great Salt Lake actually came from or stemmed from a lake called Lake Bonneville. And Lake Bonneville existed about 16,800 years ago. And as it started to dry up, it left the Great Salt Lake. And so the Great Salt Lake is the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere.
So we drank salt water when we...
No, you've never been to it. And it's actually the 8th largest salt lake in the world. And it's the largest lake outside of the Great Lakes. See, these are the Great Lakes all over here. In fact, we live by one, Lake Michigan. So it's pretty big. It's the biggest lake outside of the Great Lakes, and we know how big the Great Lakes are. It's 1,700, so 1,700 square miles. That's pretty big, isn't it?
That's big.
Yep.
Gigantic.
So here's the cool thing about Salt Lake. When you go swimming in a pool or in a lake, what do you have to do?
Swim.
Yep, because what happens if you don't swim?
You'll go down in the water.
Yeah.
And then
if you don't know how to swim, you'll sink. If
sink.
not, you have to float. Or you have
floaties
to you have to float, or you have to like tread water, those kind of things, or swim to stay up, right?
Or bring a boat.
Or a boat will work too. Here's the coolest thing about the Great Salt Lake. The Great Salt Lake, when you get into it, it's similar to floating. So you all of a sudden you lift, you have buoyancy. Pretty wild, huh? So they consider it to be America's Dead Sea. However, your daddy and I have actually been to the Dead Sea in Jordan. And in the Dead Sea in Jordan, there is nothing that lives there. It's really, 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 really salty. There is actually some wildlife that lives in the Dead Sea. Actually, what did you see when you were watching that video on the Salt Lake?
Pink.
Well, no, animals. Remember you saw some animals?
No. Yeah, like swans.
There were some birds, yeah.
Birds.
Yep.
Turtles.
I don't think turtles live there. No. So there's a lot of birds. There's some, I think they call them brine shrimp. So the little shrimpies that live in it. Yep. There is some algae, and there's a lot of flies and stuff that live around there.
Oh,
yeah. So there is life, which is different from the Dead Sea. So that.
So the sea is dead?
Well, that's what they say, because it's so salty that nothing can live there. And actually, the cool thing about that too is because of the salt, every year it's different. It's different in how deep it is, because it dissolves and it comes back and evaporates and comes back and stuff like that.
That's
so
cool.
It is kind of crazy, yeah. So that is our virtual road trip to Utah. What did you guys think?
Fun.
All right.
Bye, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thumbs up. Bye.
Bye.